Hi Scorpio, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your April 2022 love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridging the gap spread. And the way it works is to look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's what the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. Also, keep in mind it's a general reading, so while I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left is the energy and the cards on the right is the other person's, if you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Prince of Arrows, which is Gemini energy, and the Princess of Arrows. So, two sword energies here. This is the equivalent of the Knight of Swords, and this is the equivalent of the Page of Swords. So, could just be saying that you might have been feeling a little bit confident toward expressing your feelings for this person, but with a little bit of time, it looks like you might have actually started to get a little bit nervous about it for whatever reason. The reason why I say that is we see those butterflies, and that makes me think of the term butterflies in the stomach, right, which people talk about when they get nervous, and seeing you go from the prince to the princess there, that's what I feel. It's like there might have been a build-up, or maybe you're getting close to expressing your feelings for this person, but then when it came time to actually do it, you might have just gotten a little bit nervous, and you might have still came forward and expressed yourself, but maybe the words didn't come out the way you were hoping, things along those lines. Alright. Past energy on their side, we have the Five of Wands, which is Leo energy, and the Seven of Pentacles, Taurus energy. So, for some of you, this could just be saying that they might have seen a lot of potential competition. So, for example, maybe you're pretty popular and they're like, oh, okay, maybe there's a lot of people interested in Scorpio, right? And with the Seven of Pentacles energy there, they might have just been wondering, okay, did they want to put the time and energy toward investing toward that, right? Thinking that, okay, well, maybe you're already dating multiple people, things along those lines, right? So, and for a lot of you, I feel like that might not have necessarily been the case, but I feel like that's kind of what they were thinking to themselves. Like, okay, do I want to compete to try to win over Scorpio in the situation? All right, present position on your side, we have the Queen of Coins, Capricorn energy, and the Ace of Cups. So to see these two things here, especially given that for you guys, Capricorn is your third house communication. What I get with that is if we look at the way she's kind of looking over in the cards on that side, but not fully, and she's leaning a little bit away. Could just be saying that for a lot of you, you might be trying to keep it a bit casual with this person, right? And make it seem like you have a lot of other things going on, that you're busy all the time, things along those lines. But underneath it all, you still do see the potential to be with this person. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Seven of Wands, Leo energy, and the Fool. So to see these two together, what always stands out to me with the artwork here is a couple of things. So we see the red energy on the feminine, right, which to me represents that passion, whereas the masculine has more of that icy type, bluish type color to him. And we see like she's going a bit more passionate with her grip around him, whereas he's like kind of in it, but not really, right? So that could be the energy that they're getting from you, or they might feel that you're just a bit guarded, because like I said, it seems like you give them the impression that maybe you're a little bit interested, but you also have better things you could be doing with your time, right? So trying to play it cool, but ironically, in coming across that way, that person might actually take you at face value and think, again, similarly, interestingly enough, we see the two people in the background there, just like we see here, and they might take that as, oh, well, I guess Scorpio might have someone else in the picture, you know? All right, future energy on your side, we have illusion. So this is actually the equivalent of the moon card in traditional tarot. And I will say there's going to be a full moon in April in your 12th house of Libra. So that could definitely be saying that, you know, there could be some confusion there. So super generic way I can see this playing out so far, right? Where you're interested in this person, but for whatever reason they make you nervous. So you don't really come out and show the full level of your desire for them. they might take everything very much at face value. So when you come across that way, trying to play it cool, this person might take that very seriously, and then they might say, well, I guess either Scorpio's with someone else or whatever the case may be. But then you might be thrown for a loop by that, like, why aren't they coming after me? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it could just be that full moon might teach you to look at that dynamic, right? Like, okay, well, why don't you, be more authentic in your expression toward your feelings for the person, right? And then that way it might not create that dynamic that you're hoping to avoid, but it ends up creating it anyway. Hopefully that made sense. But yeah, that's what I see coming across with that. And future energy on their side, we have the Six of Swords, Aquarius energy, and the Queen of Chalices, Cancer energy. So the good thing is, this does look like they will actually want to come back in and make another effort towards you. Even if it does look like I said in the present, they might just be leaving the connection behind, thinking that, okay, apparently Scorpio isn't interested in me. The only downside I would say there is that for some of you, it might actually take until Cancer season because this card represents Cancer. So might be a while until they do come back around. But yeah, seeing those two energies there, that's the first thing that came to mind, which was okay. Looks like they might step back for a bit and think, okay, I guess Scorpio's not interested, but then it looks like they will come back around and make another effort toward you. Doesn't necessarily have to be during Cancer season, but that was the first thing that came to mind looking at that card. For some, it could even just be saying since Cancer is ruled by the moon, it could definitely be around that full moon in Libra too, or possibly at the very end of April, there's going to be a new moon in Taurus, which is the house of relationships. So definitely be some dynamic there. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Seven of Arrows. So yeah, this is Aquarius energy here, and what I'm seeing with this, all right, if we think of the Seven of Arrows in traditional tarot, it looks like the person's being deceptive, but they look very happy and pleased with themselves as they're getting away with the swords right here. If this camera will cooperate, there you go. You can see her facial expression. She doesn't look all that happy at all, right? And we see the two arrows left behind there. She's carrying 5. So the 5 being carried makes me think of the 5 of Swords energy, and then the 2 swords there makes me think of, that desire for a relationship. So that's what I think it is, where you might find yourself in more casual things, even though you want something more serious, but it could just be saying that there's some wounding there with the 5 arrows that could be leading to that. So like I said, where maybe you get nervous around getting closer to someone, so you desire that deeper connection deep down, but you don't see the dynamic and what could be causing these connections to go off the rails, which, like I said, if you play it really cool, like, oh, you could take it or leave it with someone, if they take you at face value, that, oh, I guess they're not into it, and then they leave, and then that's going to keep repeating, you know what I mean? Something like that. And bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Judgment card. So yeah, for some of you, this could definitely be someone you have a history with and they're coming back around, but for others of you, it could just be pointing to what I was saying there, where even if they do leave the scene for a bit, it looks like they might come back around. But yeah, either way, I actually view this as Scorpio energy, the rebirth side of that energy as well. So this could be another indicator for sure that when we have that full moon eclipse in your sign in May, at the very least, you might see this connection come back around. All right, so moving on to the Oracle cards. First, we'll see what we get from the Alchemy Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, and what I'm going to be looking for is unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. Initially, I'll be looking for jumpers, but if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll actually just put the deck down and pull a card for each side that way, but we'll see what we get. All right, got one there. And next we'll see what we get from them to you. All right, and that didn't want to go back in the deck. So let's see what we got on your side. All right, we have Taken. I'm unavailable. So interesting, to be fair. Now, for some of you, maybe that is. I was saying that they might have gotten the impression that you guys might have been involved with someone else, but not necessarily that you were. So for some of you, that actually could be the case. Maybe for some of you actually are involved in another connection, but maybe there's someone who's catching your eye on the outside, right? So to be fair, if that's the case, it doesn't look like you guys would be acting on it, and maybe that's why I'm seeing the resistance on your side, right? Because maybe you're interested in them, but you know, okay, I'm in another connection right now. So extra layer there I wasn't necessarily expecting, but at least I could see where that would resonate for some of you. For others of you, it could just be saying more emotionally unavailable, because like I said, you might still have some wounding from the past that leads this repetitive cycle you guys have. All right, and on their side, we have absence. As more time passes by, I feel a deeper void without you in my life. So yeah, that card there, this shows me a couple things. For one, I was saying how they might leave the scene there with the Fool card, right? Because like I said, they might be like, okay, Scorpio doesn't seem to be interested, right? They have that take it or leave it mentality. I guess I'm gonna just keep moving. And then I said for some of you, they might leave the scene altogether, and it might take until Cancer season for some of you before they come back around. For some of you, this might actually confirm that timeline a little bit, just as far as for them to say that. I don't feel like, they would feel that after they separated from you for a week, right? So that might be a little bit longer of an absence in that regard. But yeah, that's what I see with that. Either way, I can see how that fits in with the energy of the cards on their side. All right, and lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but here we're looking for one card with general advice to wrap the reading up with. Alright, so no cards are coming up, so what I'll do is I'll just put the deck down and give me a few seconds to tune in and we'll just pull a card. Alright, we'll take this one here. Let me get the deck out of the way. Alright, so you guys have a leg up. There's the artwork, and the number is 34. So let's see what we get. Okay, it says receiving help, delegating authority, interdependence. You've come to a point where going it alone is no longer optimal for you. Life has a way of presenting you with the perfect people to align with who can give you a leg up during this next phase of your journey. Help comes to you in all the areas of your life where you need a boost. The trick is to accept that aid so freely given. When you embrace interdependence, allowing teamwork and independence to commingle, miracles happen. Now is such a time. All right, and the relationship message says relationships that are healthy thrive on interdependence. It's important to recognize that you need others as much as they need you. You must allow people to support you just as you are there for them. This is the time to be vulnerable, to speak up about your needs, and to ask for them to be fulfilled. Trust, you will be met with kindness and love. Don't expect others to read your mind, though. Ask and it is given. So yeah, pretty positive message there, and it definitely supports what I was saying there as far as, like I said, they might very much take you at face value, right? Which, like I said, if you guys are giving off that impression like, I could take it or leave it, they might say, okay, well, they're not interested and they'll leave the scene, right? Whereas, like I said, it does look like there are some genuine emotions on their side, but I feel like you would have to open up a little bit more to actually have them feel uncomfortable expressing that as well. So, hope that resonated with you guys. I'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.